Folks, welcome back. My name is Florida. You're watching Rudy on a YouTube channel called Alpha Investments. One man's journey into a life that people thought was impossible, people thought was stupid. Just buy the S&P, right? Cut. Do it again. Do it again. Folks, Florida, Rudy, Alpha Investments. There you go. The reason we're starting off today with this camera at this location in this scene, mostly because I want to show off my card shop chair. Very professional YouTube channel. But no, in reality, I want to show you guys something. God, this camera's not really moving good. I want to show you guys something. And that is actually... look at all the inventory that nobody wants. No, but seriously, let's go back. Let's just be normal here. All right, no more bamboozle. Don't go down that hallway back there. That's like the lane. You see like the Aether drift back there. Nobody wants that, right? Oh wait, it sells almost every day. Yeah, and then you see those red labels? You know what that is? That's Jumpstart 2022. The set that I told everyone do not sleep on. I used to sell that Jumpstart 2022 way back there. It used to be my $93 Jumpstarts for like 2 years. Yeah, they almost doubled. So, folks, sit back. I am showing you this beautiful. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. You know what that is? It's cardboard. You know what it smells like? Yep, that's what I thought. That smells and feels like a good 2026. I'm like the only bullish excited Magic and Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, Weiss, Sorcery, One Piece. I'm like the only bullish person on the internet, I swear, at this point. You know how long it's been since I've been able to build up excessive inventory? I think 2 years, maybe? Has it been 2 years? It's been a long time. Like, where I can actually have things in stock. Patrons don't have to feel rushed to buy something. I can keep it in stock. It's like, you know what? Maybe I want to buy some Spider-Man play boxes. Maybe I want some Tarkir or Dragonstorm play boxes. You know, maybe I want to get some $100 Tarkir ship boxes. You know, fuck it. You know, maybe next month I want to buy a case. You know, maybe I want some $118, I don't know, Spider-Man or Outlaws or Karlov or Dustmorn. Great set. You know, or maybe I just want some $100 Aether Drift. Maybe I want some $100 Avatar Jumpstart. Maybe I want some $100 Foundations Jumpstart. You know, it's... I feel the issue is perspective. I feel everybody, we've really lost our way on perspective on these things. As Rudy approaches his 11th year on YouTube, I just feel like people don't, I don't know, I feel like people don't see what I see anymore. And I got this silly Charizard box out because I want to share this with you guys. This Charizard EX Premium Collection box. So I had like 1,400 of these things. Ran a patron sale when this thing came out. Sold them by the case. You get like 6 or 8 of these in a case. I think I was selling them for like $20. Maybe $25. And it was a tough sell. And, you know, most people, Rudy, you know. And, you know, I look at this product. And, you know, it's got some promos and what? Obsidian Flames and what is that? Scarlet and Violet Base. Paldea. Obsidian Flames. Some Charizard promos. And, you know, it wasn't well received. People just weren't excited. People were like, well, I guess I'll buy. And I go back to what I talk about a lot. There's pros and cons of being on the business side of cardboard. The pro side is you see things different than the internet sees. So my views always come off very different than what you guys may be hearing at your local store, or maybe what you hear at your local private, I don't know, MySpace and your private little Tinder group, or maybe your local Discords and Reddits are all telling you one thing. But when you do something for a very long time, you get pretty good at it. And when you get really good at something in life, you tend to make money at it. And then when you kind of master something from doing it for, I consider it usually takes at least 10 years to be really good at something. When you do something for 20 plus years, like it almost becomes an extension of you, and you have the ability to almost sense or feel kind of an idea of what's going on. And for me, it almost makes it more difficult because I just, like right now, I'm not sure there's ever really been a time that I have disagreed with more of what the narrative is online. And, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, Mark Bottomwater, and the Rudy Shill, I'm just not that negative on Magic. I'm not that negative on Pokemon. I told everybody we're going to have this big soft window of Pokemon through the holidays, and guess what, folks? The Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, and now Stepsister Tuesday. It's all over with. And we're already seeing prices across the board on many things have stabilized and have actually moved 5-10% off their lows, actually retracing back up. Because, well, that's just what the market does every single year. There are literally people, I know, other humans, that plan for months just for these internet cashback sales, because it pretty much cancels out their sales tax or gives them an extra 10% off. I mean, people plan this for months. And it's always a huge market shakeup. And you always see a bunch of people that'll unload things at losses, fire sale things off the books. And I mean, I told everybody, if you can get from whatever dumbass store was fire selling Avatar Jumpstart for $60, $70, $80, I told it, don't buy from me. You should buy them out. Same thing. If you can get people who are going to sell you Duskmorn or Outlaws or Karlov Manor for $90 or $100, I guess, plus tax or shipping, maybe it's about the same, 110, 120. I mean, you should take it. These prices are incredibly good, and markets are going to recalibrate as we now leave the Amazon dump. Was there really an Amazon dump? I guess there's not really. I know they have some Spider-Man boxes, but you can only buy a couple, which I already did, which means I can't buy anymore. I don't think there's really. Was there any other dumps, or I don't think there was really any other crashes, were there? I don't think there's anything with Avatar, any older stuff. I don't think anything really happened. But, it brings me to a larger conversation today as we have this late night talk. And that is, I remain, I feel like I'm like the cheese stands alone. It reminds me of 2022, 2023's bear market, where I was the only idiot buying everything, and everybody, I remember, if you actually Google and research it, it probably doesn't exist anymore, but you can try. There were old posts on the internet about when Rudy would increase his number of patron sales because he was needing to get rid of all the inventory in 2023 and 2022. I remember there were, because I had, instead of just a Friday night sale, I added the Sunday night sale, and people were all like, whoa! And I was like, no, I can't keep up. There's so many products, and I'm carrying so many different brands, I had to add another day. It is that simple. In life, many times the simplest explanation is usually the correct one. And conspiracy theories and silliness, well, it's a great narrative, but it's really not that big of a thing. So I think we're going to have a more normal, healthy is a very loose word, but I think we're going to have a better market for Magic next year. I don't know why people are so obsessed with what's happening. Ever since the Spider-Man collapse happened, and Spider-Man collectors went from that $1,000 to $400, which is a pretty massive drop. It's something shifted from, I guess, the Final Fantasy Poke Bro narrative that, nothing really changed with Magic, So I was kind of surprised that people were surprised that they felt we were in this new era. You know, in the last 5.5 years since collector boxes were invented, I've told everyone we don't fully understand the correct pricing in the true value of some of these collector boxes long term. And not all Magic collector boxes are created equal. Clearly, a Spider-Man collector's at $350, $450, wherever you're buying with tax or not tax. I mean, clearly is not as good as Final Fantasy collectors peaked at $1,500 and now Final Fantasy collectors are back to $1,000. Oh God. You know, they're not the same. They're very different products. And like, folks, we're like 30, 45 days away from another Magic release, the first one of 2026. And that's the new Lorwyn set. I wasn't that excited about Spider-Man. Never a huge fan. I still think it's fine. I think it's going to be fine. I haven't changed my attitude. I'm not, I was a little more excited with Avatar, though. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of a little bit more than that over the Spider-Man. But, I'm pretty, I don't want to sugarcoat it, but I'm pretty pumped to see how an actual Magic set, Universes Within, I want to see how this Lorwyn set unfolds and what the cards and the options and they've already confirmed it does contain a serialized card, chase card, or a showcase card, or whatever. Now again, why did they remove serialization from the last two Magic Universes Beyond sets when they've never done that before? I have no idea. Nobody knows the answer to that. There has to be a reason, but they'll never tell us. But this Lorwyn, Lorwyn looks like there's already a lot of chatter with it. There's more people asking me and messaging me on Patreon about Lorwyn than they did Spider-Man and Avatar. And again, I still think Avatar's not a I don't think it's a bad product. Sure, I miss the old Magic because I'm an old guy. But the market has spoken, and just because Avatar went from $1,000 to $400 to $500 does not mean it's a failure. Every day, people are paying right now $140 to $160 for an Avatar playbox. The palette of that, or the one behind it, I don't know. I think it's Tarkir. One of those. It doesn't fit the definition of a collapse, but it's just once people become negative on the internet, everybody you have to align with being unhappy with something. And I just don't see why it's that bad. My predictions, I'm going to give you guys some 2026 predictions here on today. I predict Lorwyn is going to be incredibly successful. It's going to be the next Wilds of Eldraine type of Universes Within $1,000 collector box. And it's going to be a really beautiful, well-designed set. And everyone's going to say, well, yeah, because it's a regular Magic set and it actually has story and lore, and there you go. I think that alone, and then the showcase and the subsets and the showcase serialized card, and then the play box, if it's actually good and draftable and actually a fun experience with fun mechanics and a good, decent, balanced play thing with the commander, I think it's going to be a good product. Just laying it out there. Now, the other funny thing I wanted to kind of bring up too is, I don't think there's ever going to be a time that certain things go back to the way they were. So when it comes to Magic and Pokemon and One Piece now, these market leaders, I'm sorry, but I don't see a time where Pokemon boxes ever go below $100 again. And man, I hope what I just said is screenshotted and used against me in 2 years and the Pokemon market collapses, because that would be awesome. But I don't think it's going to happen. We are moving into a new era where there are more people buying cardboard, opening card stores, flipping, selling, collecting, investing, playing, anything to do with actual tangible paper cards than I would have ever predicted moving into the future. In the COVID era, everybody had predicted NFTs and digital stuff, and I'm still too stupid and I'm too dumb and I don't understand how, and I just don't fully understand enough. I know the basics of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I know there's a billion altcoins and pump and dumps and rug pulls and coins, and I am just not smart enough to understand that crap. Apparently anyone can make a coin, anyone can make NFTs, whatever. I need tangible real world stuff I understand. And I remember in the COVID era when everybody was predicting the end of paper cards and printing. Because everything was going to be digital, you will own nothing and be happy. That whole narrative that was on the internet. And what's funny is that here we are going into 2026, and it also shows how wrong the internet and the overall hive mind of the public always is. If you listen to most people when it comes to investing on Wall Street, picking hot stocks, if you listen to most people when it comes to Pokemon, Magic, One Piece, any of these market leaders right now, you would have been annihilatedly wrong. Just obliterated in the wrong category. And yeah, Rudy gets things wrong all the time. I sure do. But again, I still maintain, in my opinion, about a 70% accuracy rate. So I get about 70% of things right and about 30% wrong. So I'm pretty proud of that. I like to brag to you guys that I get 70% right. So I'm still pretty proud of that track record. And everybody had predicted by now that cardboard in general would not be even like remotely even at the level it was in 2020 and 2021. And I remember all that. And yet, not only was that take and that perspective incorrect, it was so far incorrect, it may go down. Like, for all the negativity in Magic and Pokemon in 22 and 2023, I'll be honest with you. In the collectible card world, outside of Wall Street and Nvidia and AI, in the actual cardboard world, in my opinion, the negativity in 22 and 23 is probably the biggest bad take in our decade. From 2020 up to 2030, which we have a couple more years, anything can happen. So far, I think the biggest age like milk perspective, it has to be that a couple years ago, Pokemon and Magic and paper cards were not going to be part of the future. Everything was going digital, virtual, NFT, blockchain, blah, blah, blah. That by far to me was the worst take of the decade. That's my opinion. And I struggle to visualize a market. And again, I want to brag on Rudy's opinion. I was one of the only voices for 2 years that yelled, printed t-shirts, and told everyone to stay the course, do all this stuff, and I was met with a lot of nasty. I had a lot of nasty days, nights, weeks, and months. It was very dirty. Sure, financially, it turned out to be worth millions of dollars in profit, but let me tell you guys something. There was a lot of dark days and weeks and months and years. And we're at a point now. I do not see when a market fully changes. I don't see a path of undoing a new playground and reverting this new playfield back to the previous. I don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening. Like, to give you guys like a silly Rudy brain thought, in the world of pinball, Stern Pinball Company makes basic pinball machines, premium fancy pinball machines, and they'll make high-end, limited edition, king ding-a-ling, different artwork, and fancy, more shit in the thing, more complicated things compared to the basic version. Okay? You can't take a basic version of pinball and just kind of buy an upgrade and make it into a limited edition. Now, you can upgrade the art and you can add some things to it and swap out. You can do a lot. But you're never going to have every component and every variant. You can't exactly fully swap. You can simulate it. But it's never going to be the authentic 100% version of the other type of thing. Not the greatest analogy, but I was trying to make a point. But in my opinion, I do not see any path anymore where we return to $99 Pokemon boxes. And me buying this for $9 and selling it to patrons for $20. I don't see a path. I don't see anything to do with a path or anything coming back to it. I just don't see it. I do not think we have the chessboard, the piece layout of this mid to late game era. We don't have the ability to go back to the other side. I do not think there is a path in this particular multiverse of simulation human life we're in that we can go back to that. There is too much mainstream conversation. You get these big shots and these huge YouTubers and CNBC and these billionaires and millionaires on CNBC, on other YouTube channels that get millions of views, not like a silly little channel like me, where I sit here and film on my phone and I'm wearing pajamas and stuff. I mean, and these guys are telling people, these guys are on mainstream TV telling others to put 5% of your money in Bitcoin and put 5% of your money in collectibles. Like, you can't undo this. There are too many people exposed and aware of the secondary markets and the size of cards to undo and go back to the way it was. Now, that is not the same thing as saying we won't have bear markets, we won't have prices that drop, we won't have a 1 to 2 to 3 year era where everything's negative and shitty. That's definitely on the table. But we aren't going back. Market cycles, one predictable fact of each market cycle, there's one guarantee, there's one certainty. And that certainty is the uncertainty. And it is the guarantee that it will not be the same as last time. There'll be whisperings and shadows and similarities to deja vu. But we will not go back. Like, Final Fantasy collector boxes are not going back to $400, $500, $600. They're not going to be $700. It's just not going to happen. Well, Rudy, they've already dropped from $1,400 to $1,000. That's great, princess. I'll give you a mouth hug. You want a cupcake? That doesn't matter. I told you, in this particular time frame and calendar and the seasonality of right now, all prices are going to retrace. If you're lucky, 0 to 5% loss. If you're unlucky, 30 to 40%. In Final Fantasy, still fits the narrative. Spider-Man fits the narrative. Every Pokemon set just about fits the narrative. And guess what? Now that we're leaving the October, November, December, we're now in December, and the tail end of it, as we move to the next 90 days, you will notice prices will firm up like they do every fucking single year. And everyone's going to go, oh my God! And it's going to be very exciting and very thrilling, and everyone's going to be surprised. It's the most interesting thing you care about, I guess. But I don't... You know, I had this individual talk to me the other day about, like, he was mentioning about Bitcoin. And I am very pro Bitcoin. And I've taken patron payments, and, you know, I've been taking Bitcoin for 6 years now. So I've been involved in dealing with it for a long time. I mean, not like early days, but long enough. And an interesting thing that this individual told me is how the volatility of Bitcoin is dropping. I thought that was interesting. That was something, I don't really care about the price of Bitcoin every day, swinging up and down everything, because that's what Bitcoin does. It's not really that exciting to me anymore. It's old news. But what's interesting to me is the variance on how big the swings are is lower now on a percentage scale than it's ever been, because of the amount of people involved and the amount of institutional and the funds and the ETFs and the mutual funds and the big money. We don't have the swings that I saw even 5 years ago when Bitcoin hit 69,000 and dropped all the way back to 16,000. And I was like, well, damn, this sucks. But at the same time, Like, I don't see Bitcoin going from the 120s back to 16,000 or 20. I don't see it happening. I mean, maybe it does, and maybe this video age is bad. But I don't personally see it happening. I would like it to. That'd be kind of fun. But and that's what I'm talking about. Like, as we move forward, humans tend to obsess over pattern recognition in everything. We look for it. We thrive on it. We desire it. We all want to look for that edge. We're all staring at all these products going, which one's going to boom? What's going to happen? Is it the Weiss Furin over there behind the camera? Is it the Chocobo bundles that everyone's going crazy? Is it the failed Jumpstart Avatar, the cheapest product that has expensive cards? Is it Final Fantasy play boxes? Is it Spider-Man play? Is it Duskmourn play? Is it Outlaws play? Is it Aether Drift back there? Everybody, and that's when you really move from the young person, when you flip and try to make some money, and you get older in this world, or at least you get more experience. In your perspective, it doesn't, like, people, it's funny to see when new people discover this channel, and they're so confused. And I don't get it as much anymore because the channel is so old and established now. I don't get the volatile comments that happened years ago. And of course, the market's strong, so everybody's very envious because, oh, look at this guy with a bunch of inventory that's worth money. Well, in bad markets, oh, look at this guy with heavy bags. He's going to have to sell to you guys. He's a salesman. So depending on, of course, your perspective, where we are in a market cycle is going to be how my videos feel to you, right? And the funny thing I've learned, I'm going to give you guys a really interesting Rudy pro tip from this video, is like just looking, I wanted to show you guys all this inventory that I've finally been able to build things up and have things in stock again. And the thing is, there is no arguing whether or not some of these items are going to skyrocket. Some of these items are going to do nothing. Some of these items are going to move up a little bit, maybe a couple % a year, and it doesn't even keep up with inflation, Rudy. That's the argument, the core, when you dig down to all this, the argument on collectibles comes down to the rate of change, the velocity. Okay? It comes down to, like, if I had my real job and I was doing derivatives, and let's say we were doing option contracts and we're selling covered calls, or we're doing some basic strategy. Obviously, we care about the theta, which is the time decay. How many days to expiration until we keep the money and the premium of the contract, all this stupid shit. But when it comes to collectibles, all it comes down to, it's time. Because if this Chocobo bundle, which I'm going to be selling in the next 24 hours to patrons, I'm actually going to sell like 3 Chocobo bundles, and you get some Final Fantasy play boxes. I'm going to make like a nice little, like a little single package. It'll be kind of fun. And whatever P.C.G player is, I'll charge it 10 times the price to make sure my image and everything stays up to date. Negative? Fuck it. You'll figure it out. No one's arguing that people want the Chocobo bundle. There's no argument to that. Okay? The argument about collectors and investors and long-term and secondary market and all these terms and perspectives, and when you push all the game piece army people aside, saying this is a game, they're all worthless, there should be a quarter. Now, when you remove all those people and put them back in their one-bedroom apartment with Taco Bell with no working toilet, and they're angry at each other, which, again, if you and I were in that situation, we'd be angry at each other too. They have the right to be angry. It's Taco Bell without a toilet. I mean, fuck. Who would not be angry? So when you get rid of that sample size, those people spend the least, they're the most volatile, you got to be careful. Give them a free gordita. And you actually discuss anything. Anybody who discusses real money management, risk tolerance, long term, of building, trying to just navigate the world, everybody pretty much understands most things go up in value in different times. Most things go up in value in a long enough time period. The true core argument is what is worth the time. If that Chocobo bundle that's $200 on P.C.G player, don't pay that. I'll sell it to you for less than that. $199.99, and I'll charge you $50 shipping. If that $200 Chocobo bundle, we all know in 5 years from now, that Chocobo bundle will be worth more than $200. I can't legally use the G word guarantee, but anyone who's been in this industry for actually truly been here for 10 plus years, not the average couple months and then people leave this market. Anyone in this industry long term, we all know the Phyrexia completed oil slicks, Aether Drift bundle, Duskmorn Nightmare bundle. Anybody who's been in this long enough is going to tell you, if you wait long enough, the price will drift up on sealed product because of natural attrition and supply and demand economics. But if the Chocobo bundle in 5 years from now, instead of $200, is only $220, well, dang, that's only like 2% a year. It's not really worth it, Rudy. You're right, it's not. If the Chocobo bundle in 5 years is $1,000, well, damn, that's a 500% return. That's crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. But the argument is the rate of change and how much time until we get that change. So to make all of us feel very depressed and negative right now, we all have a very short life. We all share the same destiny. We will all be dead in the future. Okay? The sad part about being humans is the world, the universe, everything, as you get older, you realize how big and vast life is and how short a human life is. And that's why I always tell you guys, be positive, learn things, have good people around you, because you will wake up one day and realize how short life is. You will go to the bathroom, look in the mirror, and be like, holy shit, who the fuck is that looking at me? And you're going to realize you're old, just like me. Half the time I still feel like I'm 21. I'll wake up and have a dream that I'm still waiting tables and serving breakfast and eggs and pancakes, working in high school, trying to make $8 an hour. And I'll wake up like, oh my God, did I get stiffed on that table? Did I bring them their drinks? Did I ring in their desserts? What did I do? Like, I will wake up and that still happens to me. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm like 41 years old now. That was 20 years ago. As humans, the first, from 0 to 21, we're all pretty stupid. We're all pretty dumb. And we all do stupid things. If we can get past that, from 21 to 30, we experiment, we learn. Honestly, from 30 to 60, that is your prime of trying to do something and learn and save money, invest, build a business, work hard. That is your true time. After 60, honestly, you better have it figured out. Because, from 60 to 80 or 90, you want to enjoy yourself. So again, as a human, if we assume 0 to 90 years old, in reality, you have 30 years in the middle to figure out business and investing. That's just what it is. I don't care what any University of Phoenix and these go back to college and schools and all these things are going to pay. You could be 80 years old. Come on in. If you could open the front door, you're accepted. That's great. They're a business selling you. But the reality is, we have a finite time in this world. Okay? There is no shortcut. There is no skipping ahead. There's no DeLorean that works. The sad reality is that brick of time, and as you get older, this is why people cheat, they steal, they look for shortcuts, humans gamble, because everybody's trying to get ahead and people realize, well, shit, I'm behind. I need to take excessive risk. And the human brain does crazy shit. And the reality is, those usually aren't the best paths. This type of world and life takes time, investing, working hard, having good people around you. It's a combination. It's not just about money and working. It's not just about having great people. It's a combination of all that put together, and you get a beautiful thing. You get a fulfilling, fascinating life. And so again, back to the video, It's about time. The more we try to overanalyze which product will move the fastest, which product will appreciate in the least amount of time, that is the core argument that every single person on social media trying to sell you a program, stock trading, when to trade crypto, what the hot new penny stock, the hot new crypto meme coin, Rudy, what box should I buy? There is no answer to that. And just asking that question tells me how lost you are. And you really need to step back and recalibrate and think about what you're trying to do. Because that tells me your perspective is flawed. If I knew which product was going to go crazy, I would just put it all in Avatar Jumpstart, right? I mean, I've got Jumpstart 2022 back there in the red labels, and I'm up almost 100% in 2 years. Now, the original Jumpstart, before that, is 4 years old out of print, and I'm up nothing. The boxes are still $100. I don't know, back then they were cheaper. I paid in the 70s, and I used to sell them to patrons for like 89. And I guess now they're like 100. So again, the previous Jumpstart didn't do much. It wasn't a good investment. That Jumpstart 2022 was a good investment. Do you see my point? There is no way to differentiate. There is no way to know how the future is going to treat, respond, and reprice items from the past. Hence why people who go the distance and stay the course, you increase the probability of success to, you can't say 100%, but it gets really, really high into the 90s. And that's how like bell curves, standard deviations, that's how investing works. You ever seen those things on Wall Street? If you buy the S&P 500 for one day, you have a 50-50 chance of it either goes up or down, right? And, if you buy the S&P 500 for like a week, you have something like, I don't know, it's like a 60-40 or something. And if you buy into the S&P 500 for a month, in like 1 month, you have like a 65 to 70% chance of being at least profitable by 1%. And then it's something like, if you buy into the S&P 500 for at least a year, it changes to like 80-something% chance of turning a profit. And then, of course, you keep this going. And then it's like, if you buy into the S&P 500 for 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, like it becomes 90%, 95, 99, and literally, if you hold it long term, it's like a 99.9% chance of being successful with it. And like, why that doesn't open people's eyes, I have no idea. It's always been this way. It always will be. And that's what today's speech is. It's to remind you all, the market's fine. There's nothing wrong with Pokemon. There's nothing wrong with Magic. I mean, I'm happy things are returning Magic back to what I consider where it should be. This doesn't mean anything about heavy bags. Oh, flip it. Oh, should I invest in this? No. Buy into the stock market. Leave it alone. It's a kid's card game. You're always going to have game piece army, dumbass humans. And remember, those humans drive cars and they vote and they live around you. And unfortunately, as you learn, as you're an adult, most people that you're going to run into, I know you guys are watching this video, and I know some of you work jobs at day and night, and you're going, how is my manager? How is my boss? These people are stupid. How are these people making more? How are these people at corporate? How are these people above me? These people are idiots. Because you're going to learn as you get older, the world is filled with dumb, uneducated, gullible, and people who just don't make good choices. Doesn't mean they're bad people. I still stand by. Most people are good people. Most humans have good intentions. They're not trying to scam you. And if you just talk to people, usually you can figure most problems out. But it doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of stupid Americans in the United States. I love the U.S. I am Florida man for life. Florida is an amazing thing. I will stand by it forever because of the life and the opportunity I have down here. But let me tell you something. There's a lot of stupid people. And there's a lot of stupid people in Florida that give Florida a bad name. There's a lot of stupid Democrats. There's a lot of stupid Republicans. There's a lot of stupid people in every state in the U.S., and that's just called the real world. Doesn't really mean anything past that. You can twist it, and you can change it however you want, but the real world is just filled with good and bad people and just a lot of stupid people. So, conclusion, folks, I want to have a live talk with everybody. We're in December. We're now past the holidays. Or not holidays. We're past what I call the cardboard holidays, which is the November month. November is the most volatile and panicky month of every year in the card world. I dread it. I look forward to getting out of November every year because it's the same stupid thing over and over. And I'm telling you all right now, this new era is a bigger footprint. We have more players, more people, more collectors, more investors. The market has shifted. The world is different. People have woken up that cardboard and printed materials are not going anywhere. It's a real thing. It's here to stay. And yes, folks, just to end this video, buying a box of Magic or Pokemon, you are not supposed to double your money every year. For the last 10 to 11 years on this channel, sealed product of collectibles on my business model over the last 20 years was built around the concept that the goal is that sealed product would appreciate 10% a year would be a home run. So to remind you all, even if you bought Pokemon ME1 right now on the open market for $250, guess what? The goal should be that box. If that box can appreciate $20-30 a year, that's a home run. Which means in 5 years, in 6 years, you should double your money. That would be considered an amazing opportunity. Now, whether that happens, it usually doesn't happen that way. Usually, products don't move in straight lines. You have 2-3 years of zero or negative, and then 1-2 years of a tripling, because markets are irrational and they don't move in straight lines. And to remind everything, to end this video, extremely bullish on One Piece into the future. Sorcery, the new Gothic, really hot right now. I want to see what happens once box openings, everybody hits it. I want to see the curios. I want to see what happens with the product, and we're going to revisit it, okay? Weiss, I don't care what anyone says with the competition from HoloLive, these other card games, and Union Arena, whatever. Weiss ain't going anywhere. What's Weiss, 15, 20 years old now? How old is Weiss? Pokemon, the GOAT, the blue chip, it ain't going anywhere. Again, people in the last 12 months became stupid. Everybody forgot that Pokemon boxes and prices are not supposed to move this fast. And I feel like we're finally slowing down. And that's a beautiful thing. Magic collector boxes. I told you all the same thing over and over. Magic play boxes can go to $150, $200 plus a box as they go out of print and age. We've said it for years, okay? Actually, Magic set boxes and draft boxes, many of them across the board, who didn't do anything, I mean, looking at you, Wildsville Drain, are actually moving now, and they're all doing exactly what we thought they would do after only a couple years. Well, Rudy, you're only picking on the good ones. That's right, because there are other boxes that have not moved up much. That's why we diversify and we target our 10% a year as a goal. So, Magic collector boxes, including Spider-Man, including Avatar, including Final Fantasy, the new Lorwyn coming up. I am a firm believer sealed Magic collector boxes long term is the ultimate play for Magic, but do not downplay Magic sealed Commander and play boxes. I'm telling you all right now, do not underestimate them. And that's it. So, conclusion of this video today, folks. I will remain the only person. I do not feel super world ending, and I'm pretty pumped about 2026. I think it's going to be a great year. I think Pokemon's going to be awesome. I think Magic's going to come in with crazy surprises. I think it's going to be good. And I know I'm the only person saying that. Everybody's super negative on everything. And yeah, the economy's going to be volatile. Some people are going to do well. Some people, the economy is just going to beat the hell out of them. And the rich are going to get richer. And people who are gambling, heavy drinking and smoking and burning their money, they're going to get more and more negative, and they're going to get left behind. The people who are willing to truly put effort and truly try to do things that are the right path, for most people, not all, there's always exceptions, I think things are going to be good for most people. I really do. And I hope you guys stick around. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I really do. I think we got a lot of good times ahead. And I think more people need to appreciate and understand that, Pokemon and Magic is going to slow down. The prices aren't going to be moving up as quick. And I think that is the best case scenario. And I think that's great. And I can't wait for a couple of years from now to make videos on Spider-Man and Avatar and discuss the pricing, because it's going to be a ton of fun. That's it, everybody. Hope you guys have a great day. And patrons, I'm going to continue to give you guys more choices. We got the Jump Starts, the Spider-Mans. We got the Avatar. We're working on everything so you guys can just buy when your heart desires, and we'll have it in stock like the olden days, and we'll get back to normal, everybody. It'll be a beautiful thing. Hope you guys have a great day. Life is short. Stay away from the drama. All right, penis.